The time to discover your risk tolerance is before the market tests it. One of the most underutilized tools in a retirement plan is a health savings account. That is an opportunity to prevent the panic attack, the freak out, the devastation of a crashing market.
So, things we're going to see in 2026. Economic factors that will continue. Baby boomers continue to retire at record numbers. One, they are leaving the workforce while inflation remains high and is continuing to do a number on all household budgets, retired young families and everybody in between. Social Security is still facing threats. None of us have any idea what's going to happen with that. Although we do know something's going to have to change unless, if nothing, it will become insolvent. But rather than hoping for the best, savers can take action now by doing certain smart and deliberate things.
Well, first, let's take a step back for just a second.
Okay.
All right. This conversation is for those who are approaching retirement, right? Not necessarily in it yet. But if you are getting close, there's a couple of things we want to make sure we factor in. Number one, know your risk before you retire. Know your risk before you retire. That is an opportunity to prevent the panic attack, the freak out, the devastation of a crashing market. It's better for you to know your risk early. When I get in the car, I want to know how to get to Delaware before I start my trip. So I put it in the GPS, and the GPS tells me the best way to get there, the hazards ahead, the policemen that are out there, the construction, all the things that will cause me headache along the way. But yet now I have a plan of how to get there. Your risk is no different. The amount of risk you're willing to take on in your portfolio should be decided before the market starts freaking it out and crashing it down and doing all these resets and doing all the things that the market does. The market is going to market over the years. We just have to build a plan that says, I know who I am and my advisor knows who I am, so I'm invested appropriately for that. You do not want to build a plan based on hope. You want to build a plan based on good information, good data, and good training. And the time to discover your risk tolerance is before the market tests it. Yep. The market's going to crash and everybody's going to freak out like it's the first time. In Michigan, we have beautiful, but awful driving weather in the winter. That's just what we deal with here. Yeah. So this year it came really early. December was really, really snowy, more than usual. And so many people act like it's their first time driving in the snow. They just drive like idiots. They either drive way too slow or way too fast, or they just do things. We just need to know that the snow's coming, be prepared, leave a little earlier, and do the things you need to do. That's the way I mitigate risk in my car. In retirement planning and investing, we need to know how much risk we're willing to take and how we need to invest for our own timeline. How do I build a plan that makes sense? So number one, know your risk before retirement because the market will test it out. The market will stress you out. The market will market. You just have to know who you are before that comes up. So number one, know that. Know your risk before you retire. Number two, use higher contributions while you can. There are catch-up provisions for people age 60 to 63 for the super catch-up. There are opportunities to put money into your retirement accounts. There's even, and a lot of times when people ask, they say, well, how much can I put in my retirement account? The basic numbers are right around $30,000 between you and the employer contribution, but that's actually not all you can put in there. You can do after-tax contributions up to about $72,000. Non-deductible. Is there an age limit
on that?
No. If you have a 401k, you can do non-deductible contributions up to about $72,000. Now, there are plan provisions and things that you need to make sure you know about. But yeah, for most people, about $72,000.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that can go in. It's after tax. It's non-deductible. And then when it comes out, if it's done properly, it can roll into a Roth IRA. That's a good strategy.
Okay.
We don't talk about that enough.
Right.
The after-tax contribution to 401k. That's a great tool that can be utilized. So dump more money in, because those last couple of years are your best years to soup up the retirement account before you retire. When you use like the Dave Ramsey system for paying down debt, I'm going to pay this much towards debt every month. I'm going to pick the right debts, pay them off, and then keep paying that much to snowball and start getting things paid off. You can do the same thing for contribution. I can contribute more and more. I'm used to spending this much in expenses, but now my new expense will be catch-up contributions to my 401k or my Roth or different things. So that's part of the strategy. So number one, know your risk. Number two, use all the catch-up provisions you possibly can. Number three, hedge for inflation. Inflation is out there, and we hear all this news like, oh, well, inflation's down. Isn't that good? It is down compared to previous years, but we don't have deflation. because people keep saying, well, why isn't stuff cheaper? Well, that's deflation. Deflation is not good. Deflation is when your economy is going through a real crisis, and as a result, the price is coming down. We have way too many goods for the amount of people who can pay for them. So since the supply is so high and the demand is so low, then the cost comes down. We don't want to live in a place where people don't have money to pay for groceries. That's not good. But that's one of the best ways to get deflationary groceries. So we don't have deflation. We just have a slower inflation rate. Rather than growing at a really high rate, it's growing at a slower rate. That is good for us, but it doesn't mean that it's cheaper necessarily. So as a result, we need to hedge for inflation for the future. What is it looking at? 2%, 4%, 5%? How do we still live our life? And then kind of alongside of that, we need to know that healthcare costs are a real thing. So number 3 is hedge for inflation. Number 4, deal with healthcare costs. One of the most underutilized tools in a retirement plan is a health savings account, tax-free savings for your retirement health needs.
Is that something that you would get through your employer? Because not everybody has access to that. Is that
no? You can get them just independent. You can get them from other places.
Do you have to have a certain age to do it?
No, you just have to have a high deductible plan. That's it. And there's people my age at the nice young age of 42. Right? There's people who have HSAs and they use that to cover their copays or deductibles. But as you get closer towards retirement, especially if someone says, well, I'd like to get out at 62, what do I do about healthcare until Medicare kicks in? Yeah. If you store up enough in your HSA, if you can get $50,000, $60,000 in your HSA, well, then now I can cover my premiums for those years and I can retire and not worry about healthcare. So that's a very underutilized tool. Tax deferred going in, tax free coming out. So that's a beautiful thing. So I would use an HSA more and more. And then the last thing is get serious about your legacy plan and make sure you've buttoned up some things. You've worked for 30, 40, 50 years to build a life, to build a home, to build an estate, to build assets. And now it's time to retire. And I need to get this thing taken care of. I need an estate plan. Not everybody needs a trust, in my opinion. There are lawyers that disagree with me on that, and we can kind of go back and forth. But everybody needs a will. Everybody needs healthcare directives, and everybody needs really good beneficiary documents. That's the bow on all of the stuff that you've been doing. You've been wrapping this gift over the years for your family, not exclusively for them, but the reality is at the end of your life, whatever's left does go to your family. That's the gift. The bow on top is not only do you get this money, I did an estate plan that makes sure that it doesn't go to probate, it's not unnecessarily taxed, and it's built for my family, not for the government to come in and take a look and see what they can grab out along the way. So those are the keys to me. I think if you do those 5 things, if you know your risk before you retire, if you do your extra contributions as you go along the way, if you hedge for inflation, build that out. If you do your health savings account and plan for your healthcare costs, and then have a good estate plan as a bow on the back end, that is a successful retirement plan. And that is a way to make sure that all of your hard work stays within your loved ones and those you care most about, and the government doesn't get to come cherry pick some out for themselves.
You've definitely got some action items here. If you are listening to this podcast, watching this YouTube video, you've got your action items, but also going through these motions, it can feel overwhelming. You can start to get intimidated. There is a no, run into the bed, pull the blanket over your head effect that happens to a lot of us. So if you get those feelings, if you have questions about these options, opportunities, what you might have, if you want somebody to review all these things with you, Mike and his team, they're here to do just that. Visit us at michigansretirementcoach.com. We also have links posted in the show notes. So you can just click there. It will take you to our website so you can start the conversation with Mike and his team. There is a lot to figure out in a retirement plan. We are living in the year 2026. Nothing is slowing down, and life will continue on even into your retirement. And Mike and his team want to help simplify the process with and for you. So if you have questions, we're here for you. Visit us anytime. michigansretirementcoach.com.